Tasha K went live for 2 hours and said Claressa Shields' entire rise to fame story may have been carefully shaped and strategically enhanced for sponsors, media, and brand deals. And the woman who allegedly helped build that image, Sierra Mitchell, has reportedly fallen out with Claressa completely and is sitting on screenshots, internal communications, and private messages that could challenge everything the public has been told. And Claressa's response to all of this? Absolute silence. Baby, when your PR person becomes your biggest threat, the carefully built image is already cracking. Welcome back to Shella Elite, where the tea is always scalding and we never sugarcoat anything for anybody. New here? Subscribe and ring that bell right now. Elite family, today is different because this is not just about relationship drama or family beef. This is about a public image that has been under construction for years, and the people who helped build it apparently deciding they have had enough. Everything today is based on publicly available statements and interviews allegedly. And honey, the names being mentioned in this situation are not random. They are people who were inside the circle. And that is what makes all of this hit so differently. Let's get into it. Tasha K went live for 2 hours and said the Claressa Shields the world knows, the girl from Flint who fought her way to the top, the inspirational underdog, the Olympic champion, may have been carefully shaped and packaged for brands and media. She named Sierra Mitchell, Claressa's own former PR person, as the woman who allegedly sat in the rooms where those decisions were made. Baby, every documentary, every inspirational speech, every underdog moment. Tasha K is saying somebody decided what the world would see and what it would not. And Sierra Mitchell is not just posting cryptic messages, honey. She allegedly has screenshots, internal communications, and documentation from inside the circle. She helped build the Claressa Shields brand, and she is now allegedly ready to show what the blueprint actually looked like. When the architect decides to speak, the building shakes. Baby, a stranger cannot expose you. Only someone who helped build you can truly take you apart. And now the name that changes everything about how this situation reads. Sierra Mitchell was not a random outsider. She was inside Claressa's professional circle. She was part of the team that helped manage Claressa's reputation and craft her public identity. She was not a fan watching from the outside. She was someone who was working on the image from the inside. And according to Tasha K, that professional relationship has completely broken down. It is not just that they are no longer working together. It is that the breakdown has allegedly reached the point where Sierra Mitchell is now reportedly prepared to share what she knows, messages, screenshots, internal communications, things that were said privately about how Claressa's public narrative was being managed and what certain situations needed to look like publicly versus what they actually were. And she has been posting cryptic messages online about truth, timing, and exposure. Elite family cryptic posts from someone who was inside the circle are not nothing. People who have nothing to reveal do not post about timing and truth. That specific language, timing, tells you she believes she knows when and how to release what she has. Think about what it means when your publicist becomes your threat. This is the person who knew the gap between the public version and the private reality. This is the person who was in the room when decisions were being made about what to say publicly and what to keep private. And she is sitting on communications. Baby, the most dangerous person in any public figure's life is not an outsider with speculation. It is an insider with documentation. And Sierra Mitchell is an insider with documentation who is no longer on Claressa's side. And then Monik Reed stepped forward. And honey, this interview was something completely different from everything else that has come out. Monik Reed was not a blogger, not an outsider, not someone who knew someone who knew someone. She was a boxer, a training partner, someone who was inside the professional boxing world. At the same time, Claressa was rising through it. And she sat down with Tasha K and described watching her own career get damaged. sponsorship opportunities that disappeared, a reputation that suddenly faced problems she did not expect, a feeling of being deliberately sidelined as her own profile started growing. She said she always admired Claressa. She was not coming from a place of jealousy or random bitterness. She said the problems began when her own career started gaining real attention, and she described what she experienced as feeling targeted rather than coincidental. Baby here is what makes this testimony different from everything else in this situation. Monik Reed has no obvious motive to manufacture a story. She was not in a relationship with Papoose. She was not involved in any public beef. She was a boxer who says her career was affected and she stayed quiet about it for a long time. The pattern she is describing is the same pattern that was raised about Hannah Gabrielle, the same pattern that was described about Geisha 305, a person whose career or reputation gets damaged at the exact moment they start to getting close to Claressa's competitive space. And now a third person is sitting down and describing a version of the same experience. One occurrence is an incident, two is a coincidence, three is a pattern, and elite family patterns do not lie even when individual claims are still being contested. And Claressa Shields has said absolutely nothing. Jillo, not one post, not one story, not one interview, not one statement from her team, not one response to Sierra Mitchell's cryptic posts, not one word addressing Monik Reed's emotional interview, not one acknowledgement that Tasha K's 2-hour live even happened. And in this specific situation, that silence is louder than anything she could say, because this is not the Claressa who went live 17 times about Papoose. This is not the Claressa who called bloggers broke and threatened lawsuits about Maserati Bud. This is not the woman who posted immediately every time someone said something about her relationship. She goes live about everything, and she is silent about this, and her management team has reportedly gone quiet. Her PR representatives stopped responding to media inquiries. Her legal team has reportedly advised complete silence while they assess the situation. Baby legal teams advise silence when they believe speaking will make things worse. They advise silence when the allegations are specific enough that any response creates more exposure. They advise silence when there are things they need to contain before they say anything publicly. The silence is a strategic decision, which means someone inside that circle believes that speaking publicly about these allegations creates more risk than staying quiet. And the things that are risky to address are usually the things that have some proximity to truth. Endorsement conversations have reportedly been paused. Promotional discussions reportedly slowed down. In today's world, reputation is a business asset, and brands do not pause conversations because of random internet noise. They pause conversations when they need to assess whether the noise has substance. And here is what nobody is putting together clearly enough: Tasha K's allegations about the manufactured image, Sierra Mitchell holding internal communications from inside the PR circle, Monik Reed describing career damage from inside the boxing world, and Claressa going completely silent for the first time in a situation that directly involves her name. These are not separate stories running parallel to each other. They are pieces of the same picture. The manufactured image allegation explains why someone on the inside who helped build it would be dangerous if they decided to speak. Sierra Mitchell's position explains why her cryptic posts about timing and truth carry actual weight rather than just internet speculation. And Monik Reed's emotional testimony about career damage connects to the pattern that has been described by multiple people in multiple situations over multiple years. And the silence connects all of it. Because Claressa does not go silent about things that are not real, she responds aggressively and publicly to things she believes are lies. She threatened to sue 50 Cent. She went live about Nigeria. She posted about Shalita. She addressed Maserati Bud. She responded to Remy repeatedly. And she is silent about the allegation that her inspirational story was shaped and that the person who helped shape it is now ready to show the gap between the shaped version and the real one. Baby people ignore the things that are so close to the truth that arguing with them creates more problems than it solves. And right now, Claressa and her entire team are choosing to ignore. That choice is its own answer to a lot of questions people are asking. So that is today's tea. Tasha K named Sierra Mitchell, Claressa's own former PR person, as someone ready to expose how the brand was built. Monik Reed gave an emotional interview claiming her career was derailed from inside Claressa's orbit. Three women with three different relationships to the situation saying the same pattern. Claressa, the woman who goes live about everything, has said absolutely nothing. And Tasha K said this is only the beginning. Two questions. One, your own former PR person allegedly has documentation about how your public story was shaped. Do you think that is the most dangerous kind of exposure, or do you think Claressa can survive even this? Two, Tasha K said more is coming. What do you think she is holding back? Drop it below. I'm Stella. Tea is always hot. Honey, I will see you in the next one. Bye.